Testing.
Shalom, Israel, with I.S.U.P.K. start off 1 West 125th Street under command of YAHANNA. We started off in 1969 where we teach blacks, Hispanic, and Native Indians make up the 12 tribes of Israel. We're not affiliated with any other Israelite group. We're the 12 tribes of Israel, the greatest people that ever walked the face of this earth. And we have to tell you that in Sabbath service, that we know that. We're trying to tell the world that blacks, Hispanic, and Native Indians are the original, true Jews. You know, we got a lot of fake Jews over in these other lands, and they're not the real ones. And of course, people, they mad, I guess, because we the real Jews. Right? And we're going to get into that, and we're going to get into Exodus 6 and 7 and show how some of these oppressors, the Most High, are going to destroy them. You know. Right. Take them. You fight your battles, man. If you let it, that's the point, you know. And we're going to get into that, right? Right. So, Magia, call up the first candidate here. State your registry.
Kalata, Banyawad, Banyashalat.
Kalata,
Banyawad, Banyashalat. Yabashan Yabshabrakta.
Yabashan Yabshabrakta. Scrolls. Sarpanya.
Hakwi. Place to the east. This is the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew. Abadao, Sabashamai, Wadash, Ayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malapaka, Baba'ah, Zayah, Hayah, I.S.U.P.K, Barakazah, Kawah, Hayah, Washamaya, Nathan, Manoah, Nakam, Call, Yawam, Wasalakinawa, Wakinawa, Kasalakinawa, Wakinawa, Wala'ah, Abayanawa, Manasayawa, Abal, Hayashaynawa, Mayan, Right, Kaya, Laka, Amalakwa, Wahala, Mahatapar, Mahalaya, Ahmad.
We said in the Hebrew, we said in English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, and forgive our debts. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Thy is the kingdom, power, glory, forever. So be it.
The power. Yahweh, Bahashir, Yahweh Shai, Baal Pashal, Athanaw, Akak, Bapa'ah, Akamalakah, Wakamarawa, Akak, Latahar, Amatazari, Akak, Lahakwi, Amati, Akak, Our Aqua, Amata'ala, the Garsh, Bahashir, Yahweh Shai, Amat.
Well, we said in Hebrew, we said in English, Lord, in the name of Yahawashi, please give us the power. Power to heal all manner of sickness, all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, power to raise the dead, power against unclean spirits, cast them out in the name of Yahawashi. Thank you. So be it.
Bless Israel. Yahweh, Bahashir, Yahweh Shai, Barakanaw, YAHANNA, Wahabayah, Sapari, Barak, Rapa'ah, Hagan, all of Israel,
All of Israel.
all of Israel,
All of Israel. Commanding General YAHANNA. All of the generals. All of the captains. All the officers. All of our troopers. All of our young men, and all of our women, and our children of the I.S.U.P.K.
Bahashir, Yahweh Shai, the one, Amen.
We said in Hebrew, we said in English. Lord, in the name of Yahawashi, bless us and Israel and the schools. Bless, heal, shield, and protect our loved ones. In the name of Yahawashi, thank you. So be it.
Psalms 121 in Hebrew. Ashai,
Ayanya,
Ahari, Bahayan, Yaba'ah, Isaiah, Ma'ai, Yahweh, Isha, Shemaiah, Warakazah, Ayatan, Lamawat, Bagalka, Ayanawam, Shamarka, Hana, La'ah, Yanawam, Wala'ah, Yashan, Shawamar, Nasa'ala, Yahweh, Shamark, Yahweh, Tazal, Al-Yai, Yandak, Yamamam, Hashamash, La'ah, Yakaka, Wayarak, Balayala, Yahweh, Shamark, Makarai, Yashamar, Aknabash, Yahweh, Yashamar, Taza'ak, Baba'ak, Ma'aika, Wa'ai, Awalam.
Well, we said in Hebrew, we said in English, I looked up my eyes to the hills, which come from my help. Come from the Lord, which made the heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, the keeper of Israel, neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is a shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and forevermore.
Psalms 83. Alahaya, Adamaya, Laka, Atakarash, Wa'al, Tashakwat, Al, Kaya, Ana, Awabadika, Yahma, Yawan, Ra'ash, Alamaka, Yarmawa, Sawada, Wayata, Yatasawa. Antisapawayaka. Armawa. Lakawa. Wanakakida. Lakawai. Wala'a. Yasakar. Sham. Yasha'ala. Awada. Kaya. Yatasawa. Laba. Yakadwa. Ayaka. Bariyat. Yakawatwa. Alahaya. Adawam. Wa. Nashamai. Allah. Yam. Ma'awaba. Bulgaria. Gabal. Maimawan. Wamalak. Palashan. Ain. Yashabdi. Tazawar. Gam. Ashawar. Alawa. Amai. Ayawa. Zawawai. Labanilawat. Salah. Aisha. Laham. Kamagi. Kasaya. Sara'ah. Kanyagi. Banakal. Koyash. One. Nashabadwa. Bayan. Da'ara. Hayawa. Daman. Ladama. Shayatama. Nada. Yab. Bawa. Kairai. Wakazabak. Wakazabak. Wakazazal. Mana'ai. Kal. Nasakama. Ashar. Armawa. Nashabashah. Nanawa. Na'afwa. Na'awa. Alahaya. Alahaya. Shalatama. Kagaya. Kakwash. Lapanya. Rawaka. Ka'ash. Ira. Wa. Kalahba. Dalahat. Kaharya. Khan. Dawadakma. Masa'iraka. Babasa. Babaka. Babahalam. Bahala. Panaham. Kwalawan. Waya. Bakwashwa. Shamka. Yahawa. Yabashwa. Waya. Balayawa. Aida. Waya. Kapawa. Waya. Abadawa. Waya. Dawai. Kaya. Ata. Shamka. Yahawa. Labak. Ayawan. Al.
What we say in Hebrew, we say in English. Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh. Hold not thy peace. Be not still, O Yahweh. Although thine enemies make atonement. They that hate thee have lifted up their head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have consulted. They have said, Come, let us cut them off from being a nation. The name of Israel may be no more remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They have confederate against thee, tabernacles of Edom, Ishmaelites, Moab, Hagarenes, Baal, Ammon, Amalek, Philistines, and inhabitants of Tyre. For sure it's also drawn with them. They have hope in the children of Lot, Salah, do unto them. As the Midianites, the Assyrians, and Jabin, the brook of Kasam, which perished at Endor, and they became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like a red, and like Zieb, yea, all the princes of Zabal, and Azamuna, who said, Let us take to ourselves the house of God in possession. But oh my Yahweh, make them like a wheel, as a stumble for the wind, as a fire that burns the wood, a flame to set the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their face with shame, that they may seek thy name. O Lord, let them be confounded and troubled forever. Let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know the vow, whose name alone is Yahweh, are the Most High, all the earth. Sorry. Go trust him again. Shop it. It's old and we see it.
Right now, we have Officer McCumber and Assistant Touch.
Okay, good. How about Shem Shai, Barak, Thumb, all my brothers, Al Shema, Alabama, Shem Shai, to my sister, we welcome you to Sabbath service here. in Greenville, South Carolina. Appreciate people in the chat. If you have any questions, type them in the chat. And we'll see if we can answer them for you. But we're going to get to the 6th, I think is what I say? Exodus 6 and 7. Let's go to let's we almost touching on the 7th chapter, right? Of Exodus. So but we're gonna get on to we're gonna start. Let's say we start on I think where we kind of left off. Sorry about that. Oh yeah, 12. Let's say 11. I'm sorry. Let me see. See that. We all want to read. We all participate. Okay. 6 and 11. I'll start and I'll read one. You'll read and finish up. Right. I get people abreast to, so we'll understand what we're reading in Hebrew. Right. That's, all right. Well, we have Hebrews 6 and 11. I said. Read the Hebrew in Exodus 6 and 11. Thank you. Okay. Where's it? Oh, here it is. La'ah, the bar all, bara'ah, malak, matazarium, wa, yasha, la, af, banaya, washarala, ma'at ratazah, verse 12. Waya debar masha la panya. It's like countenance of face. Yahweh la amar han banaya yasharal la shema'ar alawa wa yak wa yak. I'm sorry. Yasha ma'anaya pa ra'a wa naya wara shapa the shapata yum. Verse 13 right there. Read 13. He'll read 13. You go to 14. Go ahead.
Exodus 6 and 13.
Right.
Waya, the bar, Yahweh, Al, Masha, Wa'al, Aharon, Waya, Tazawam, Al, Danaya, Rasha, Yashara, Wa'al, Hara, Ihad, Malayak, Matazah, Riyam, Laha, Matazah, Ya'ah, Ath, Benaya, Rasha, Ra'al, Ma'ah, Matazah, Matazarium.
Or James.
Okay. Read that up to I believe 17 or 16. Yeah. Right? Okay, go ahead.
Allah, I.S.U.P.K, Naya, Allah, Tam, Benaya, Ra'a, Laban, Bakar, Bakar, Yeshai, Ra'ala, Yasharal, Kana, Kana, Oya, Kana, Wa, Kwa, Wa'a, COMCAST, Y1, Y1, Y.K, Y.K, Y.A, Allah, Masha, Y.K, Y.A, Y.B, 15, verse 15. Y.B, Y.A, Shema, I.1, Y.Ma, Y.Allah, Y.A, Y.A, Y.Ya, Y.Yan, Y.A, Y.Da, Y.Ya, Y.Yan, Y.Tazah, Ko, Y.Sha, Y.La, Ban, Y.Ka, Y.A, Y.Ya, Allah, Y.Sha, Y.Ka, Shema, Shema, I.1, verse 16. Y.A, Y.Allah, Shema, Wa, Ban, Y.Ya, Y.Wa, Y.Ya, Y.Da, Y.Da, Tam, Y.Ra,
Senator,
Go,
Gershon.
Garasha,
Gershon. It's Gershon is what it is. Read that word.
Garasha, 1, Garasha 1,
Okay.
Wakwa, 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 Hatha, Wakwaha, Wama, Raraya, Sha, Naya, Kayaya, Lawaya, Shabbat, Lasha, Lasayam, Wama, Shana, verse 17.
Is that the last one?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Naya, Garasha 1,
Gershon.
Wasa, Naya, Wasa, Ma'aya, Lama, Shapa, Katam.
Basically went over to a little bit of the names that came out of Egypt. That's what those names were hard to pronounce. Let's start out at verse 11. So I mean, we read a little bit over this, but go to 11 for me if you could, and because we're going to introduce ourselves into 7 here in the second chapter of Exodus. What I say? Exodus 6.
Exodus 6 and 7. 11.
Right. That's right.
Exodus 6 and 11.
Right.
Go in, speak unto Pharaoh, king of Egypt,
Mm-hmm.
that he let the children of Israel go out of his land.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 12.
The Lord was giving them a charge. Basically, he said, go and talk to Pharaoh. Who was Pharaoh? Yeah, Pharaoh, Pharaoh is a name. Look that up. Pharaoh actually is a name for king. All the kings were pharaohs of something, right? Put that word up there. I think you'll find that out in the dictionary there. Compact dictionary there. Either one, however you look it up. We try to rely on that. We give that to put that in front of Colossians. You'll be able to get some of it too. Some of it was the dictionary. We just want to know how powerful this Pharaoh was. A Hamite, wasn't he?
Right.
I mean, we got the children of Israel got all kind of enemies, man. Hamites, Egyptians and Esau, Japanese, Chinese. These are all oppressors that oppress our people. We set in the backdrop to let you know that how, just like you saw in that book, dog, man, we had who we had, Esau, like we talked about last night, right? We're gonna show you how we're living in the days where we got Psalms 83. We had all kind of oppressors, man. On that boat, dog, was Esau. That's why the Most High didn't want us to live with, man. You don't want to live around these people. The Most High, we're in punishment, and we're beginning to see why the Lord said all this. Go ahead.
This is the definition of Pharaoh.
Yeah.
A ruler in ancient Egypt.
A ruler. That's what Pharaoh really means, king or ruler.
Right.
Say a ruler. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why you have many pharaohs. Tutankhamun, who else? I'm not sure which pharaoh this is. I don't know. But this in history, this is one of those ones that they found in the little tombs or whatever, you know.
Right.
But anyway, that's letting you know that this was a Hamite person. Listen, we're not Ham, right?
Right.
We're not the Egyptians, man. We're not at all. That makes sense. All right, finish reading.
Verse 12.
Uh-huh.
And Moses spake before the Lord, saying, Behold, the children of Israel have not hearkened unto me.
What does that mean, not hearken? Go ahead. It's hard headed, wouldn't listen. Our people sitting back, we wondering, we got to go through all this. We're in bondage. Number one, it wasn't hard that our people. Moses was given a charge to say, you go up and you tell the people that to listen to me because I want you to give them a message. Finish reading that. Tell you what that message is. Go ahead.
How then shall Pharaoh hear me, who am of uncircumcised lips?
Oh, what does that mean? Read that again, verse 12. I'm sorry.
And Moses spake before the Lord, saying, Behold, the children of Israel have not hearkened unto me.
Right.
How then shall Pharaoh hear me, who am of uncircumcised lips?
Mm-hmm. It said, in other words, if my own brother, the children of Israel, that's his brother, right? Those are the Levites, supposed to speak for the people, say they ain't gonna listen. Now, how you expect me to have the king? What the king Pharaoh?
Right.
How you expect to have a Pharaoh, a king of a whole entire nation, a country that's against us anyway? We're in slavery, we're in bondage. I expect them to even think about listening, especially say these are uncircumcised lips.
Right.
What does that mean? Circumcision of the heart is what the Bible says of the mind. Go ahead, I'll turn that.
Oh.
No, go ahead.
Well, from this standpoint, is it talking about physically circumcised?
No, not about physical circumcision. It's talking about that he's basically Moses. He had to go up there and fast. I ain't good enough. I'm not clean enough.
Right.
I'm not. That's what.
That's why he said lips.
Yeah. Well, that's what it's saying. But in other words, he's trying to say he's saying that he's got speech impediments. Yeah, of course. Right. And plus Moses had problems with obeying the Most High too, but he took him up on the hill. In other words,
right.
I ain't good enough. Okay. I mean, I look like I'm just like not. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
The speech impediment. That's what Aaron was talking about.
Yeah. That ain't the only reason. It's not that he got a speech impediment, because he's letting them know that he won't listen because they thought Moses. What do you think is the person?
Right.
Yeah, and then Moses didn't never create any. He just told people what he said, but he didn't sound educated either,
right,
about it. So he's saying, look here, you gotta circumcise me here. Circumcise my heart, circumcise my mind. Go ahead.
I like it, but good.
Make us all of this a spiritual thing. Go ahead.
You know how Israel is, man. Black Hispanics are. He probably walked up to them like, man, we gotta listen to the Lord. He wants to get together so we get out here. Right. And they're like, man, what the hell are you talking about, man? Get out here, man.
Moses came out. He already done killed. You got to understand too. He already done killed an Egyptian for a brother's sake.
Right.
And people see that, we shouldn't be killing folk, up in there. And then they saying that, and they saying that Moses don't sound like he's the most educated, eloquent man in the world too. So he's looking at them like, they don't listen. They just say, in other words, Moses, the Lord picks a brawler. Moses was a brawler. You don't think so? What did he do? Yeah, so it's like that. Just people looking at that like, you. In other words, I saw you do it, but you're protector, but in other words, they were confused about who the Most High was, because Moses didn't think he was eloquent enough. That's all.
Right.
So there's a whole lot of reasons up in there. Go ahead. Finish reading 13.
Verse 13. And the Lord spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, and gave them a charge unto the children of Israel.
Gave just like, oh Lord, they put an oil on your head as a priest and prophet. You've been what? Given a charge to do what? That you're going to keep the commandments and work for the Most High. Right? And you're going to speak his truth. Speak until the wind, be instant in season and out of season. Right. And he's saying, Moses, you're going to see it further said up here where we're going to get to that point where he's making Moses something unique here. Go ahead, finish reading. I'm sorry. Where we at? 13?
Right. And gave them a charge unto the children of Israel and unto Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to bring the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. Verse 14.
That's the Most High. Why do you want to bring us out of Egypt? Go ahead. Right. That's what did our people want to do? We had got used to. What do you think the Egyptians? Listen, come on. Now you live in a whole land. It's almost like going to China and trying to tell me cook me some American food. You're gonna be eating Chinese food at some point. You're gonna be eating something. Camel humps. Yeah. What do you call it? In other words, the Lord was getting us out of there so I bet you people's probably snuck. Where do you think they get all these bad habits from? From being around the wrong folk. Lord, so I gotta get my people out of there. Well, no flesh going. I ain't gonna have no flesh to be saved. I ain't gonna have no room to save my people because they eating up penguins and everything. Ain't no telling what they were doing. That's my whole point. Right. And the Most High had to go through there and listen. I gotta get my people out of here because they're his chosen people. They had to learn how they were Levites. They had to learn how to eat properly. Because they hadn't even gotten to Leviticus yet, but I'm pretty sure they had a mixture of diet. They had probably when you saw what they were dancing down with the cow, that golden calf, you can tell that they were not fine-tuned. Hell, they were uncircumcised. But that's how blacks, Hispanic, and Native Indians get to be, man. We know we bad, but sometimes we get mixed in and want to follow any damn thing. Instead of us being the head, we wind up being the tail. Finish reading on that.
Verse 14.
Right.
These be the heads of their fathers' houses.
Right.
The sons of Reuben, the firstborn of Israel.
Right. Now, we can kind of skip through this. This is just the names of all of the children of Israel, all the way down that the Most High saying, I commission you to bring these people out of here. Right. In other words, because he's going to be, like you said, he had to get Aaron to help him out, because just the way he thought, the way he spoke. So I'm uncircumcised, man. I'm undone. Right. I'm sitting up here. I hear Moses might have ate something wrong himself. Right. He might have been over there, I think he wound up having an African wife, didn't he? Right. Well, what do you think then? And that was not right. Right. That's what? That's against the law. So that tell you how the dire straight they were in, right? So the Lord had to straighten this out. Go all the way to these are sons. That's 26. Read there. After that, we didn't name them all. You named some of them, right? Right. Like I said, Korah, Neteh, Zekai, Elipham. Aaron took Elizabeth's daughter and the sister of Nashon to wife and all that. Nadab. Aaron had a son, Nadab and Abihu, right? Right. That's in Eleazar and Ithamar. The But these are some of the people that came out of it, right? Go ahead.
Exodus 26. These are that Aaron and Moses, to whom the Lord said, bring out the children of Israel from the land of Egypt according to their armies.
To their what?
To their armies.
The Lord's a man of war according to the armies.
Right.
He ain't playing around, man. Is he gonna say that's what we always look at, ranking order in armies, right?
Right.
That's what the Most High is saying here. This is what the recording that Moses was given in charge. So who wrote Exodus? Moses did. So he know the account.
Right.
Go ahead, read.
Verse 27. These are they which spake to Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to bring out the children of Israel from Egypt. These are that Moses and Aaron. Verse 28. And it came to pass on the day when Moses, it's like when the Lord spake to Moses in the land of Egypt. Verse 29.
The Lord spake unto Moses. He gave the account. He's telling them. It's like a history book. That's what we are, man. That's what this is saying here. Go ahead.
Verse 29. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, I am the Lord. Speak thou unto Pharaoh, king of Egypt, all that I say unto thee.
Now, the Lord spake unto Moses. What did it mean? He spake to him. It's like, I am the Lord. Why do you have to tell him that he was the Lord? That's a question. Why do you have to tell him? Go ahead.
It's like if I could.
Anybody good? Anybody on the line on chat? Why do you have to tell him?
Got Officer Shaw and Officer Rappers out checking in.
Right.
And
You go ahead and answer that. I mean, I just go to see who's in, unless they got a question.
No.
Go ahead.
to give his position, his account, like letting them know, like I'm a Lord, so listen to me when I take this.
No, it's because he's met with their forefathers before,
Right.
in forms of angelic, angels and stuff, but he's letting them know that when he's go ahead, I'm sorry, go ahead.
That's what this Lord.
Well, he's just letting them know that his authority, I guess that's what you're trying to say. His authority is I am that I am.
Right.
Don't come up here playing around. That's what they're trying to say. Don't let the record be said that, this ain't no, he's letting them know that see, the Lord had to put things down like, because he knew you ain't no man gonna really talk to the Lord, but he had to let him know that this angel is talking by the what? Authoritative sayings of the Lord,
Right.
authoritative talk that I am the Lord.
Right.
All right, go ahead, read that again.
Verse 29. That the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, I am the Lord. Speak thou unto Pharaoh, king of Egypt, all that I say unto thee.
Right.
Verse 30.
He says some or all.
All that I say unto thee.
In other words, that's important right there, right?
Right.
When you in I.S.U.P.K, when you go to camp, we speak what this Bible says, all of it. We don't go by and just
Right.
and speak any other thing. But of course, we stand correction. But I'm just saying, all that I say
Right.
unto thee, right? That's what he's saying. Go ahead.
Verse 30. And Moses said before the Lord, behold, I am of uncircumcised lips.
Right.
And how shall Pharaoh hearken unto me?
How should he even listen unto me, hearken unto me? I'm uncircumcised lip, man. I mean, because he knew, he first of all, he got to understand. Like I said, it's a spiritual matter. He understood that he, not only with speech impediments, it's just he understood that his life ain't exactly right too. And in other words, he's saying that I ain't God.
Right.
Okay, look, you got a Pharaoh here, right? A king. The Lord sets up kingdoms, right? The Lord can go just tear down Pharaoh right away.
Right.
We're gonna get into this right here. But Moses saying, I don't feel like I'm adequate enough. Like when you go to camp, you got this is how he felt, your first camp speaking. How you feel? Inadequate, didn't you? You felt like you were. Go ahead, I'm saying, go ahead, elaborate. You felt, go ahead, Plaza. How you felt on your first camp speaking? That's how Moses felt. Nervous. And not only that, you felt like what? You were a priest and prophet, but you know, like,
You know what I'm saying? The right thing.
and why you felt like you said the right thing? Wasn't ready?
How you feel?
So,
At the time.
You feel inadequate, don't you?
Right.
We all feel like that, like, damn. I mean, don't get me wrong, there might be some people that have it. What about you, Kyle?
I just didn't know what to say.
You know what to say. They say this is what Moses is going through. He's wondering. I ain't know what to say. I'm inadequate. I'm sitting up here barely, my words barely coming out. Like I don't know what. In other words, let me search for a word.
Right.
This is what Moses is feeling. That's mild to what he felt. He probably first was good.
I was lying for good. I don't know if I'm getting ahead or not, but you know, speaking of the camp speaking, our camp leader, the did like Aaron did, you know, and can help us speak.
Sure, of course.
Give us something to say.
Well, they already know,
Right.
and all they're doing is coercing you to do your job. Really, just by learning from the men above you. Right. Go ahead. We'll be at verse 7.
Verse 7.
Go ahead.
And the Lord, no, it's not chapter 7, verse 1. And the Lord said unto Moses, see, I have made thee a God.
He made you a what?
Made thee a God.
And what? And go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
To Pharaoh.
Mhm.
And Aaron, thy brother, shall be thy prophet.
So, okay, now what does this mean? Is this I made you a God? In other words, Pharaoh gonna look at you like you ain't got no uncircumcised look. He gonna look at you like you the man. In other words, whatever power I got, I'm showing it through you.
Right.
I mean, the Lord is saying it. I'm showing it through you. The Pharaoh the king of all of Egypt, I'm gonna see you like he's gonna see you like a god, like a superpower.
Right.
It's almost like you going now when you get ready to go to camp and you're ready to talk and bring and speak to my people. Now you're looking at like it's almost equivalent to say I'm gonna see you like Jesus or Commander General YAHANNA for that matter. Can you imagine having a strong talk and strong speak of Commander General YAHANNA?
Right.
Kind of give you a scenario. It ain't quite like that, but you kind of understand. It'd be like, damn, give me this, you know. And that's what Moses said. I'm gonna make Pharaoh look at you like a god because he looking at him. He had to look at him that way.
Right.
Because if he didn't, he would like, who are you?
Right.
To tell me anything.
Right.
I mean, that's what that sounds like. It's like, okay, look, it's like me going in front of the president of the United States and say, let my people go. Give us back our land. Probably look at me like, who the hell are you? I'm talking about me. I'm not Commander General YAHANNA. I ain't not one of the generals. I'm just, hell, I could have been a trooper for that matter. And I'm going there to be the same thing. But he's saying that. Read that again at verse 7. 1.
Chapter 7, verse 1.
Right.
And the Lord said unto Moses, see, I have made thee a God to Pharaoh.
I made you like a god to Pharaoh, man. You're gonna ready to have Pharaoh will look at you. That's gonna be the way that his heart got hardened.
Right.
Because he realized you speaking with authoritative power. There's no more uncircumcised lips anymore. Go ahead and finish reading. And what's that semicolon there?
And Aaron,
colon, I'm sorry.
And Aaron, thy brother, shall be thy prophet.
And Aaron's your prophet.
Right.
See that right there? In other words, the Most High setting him up in business, right? Because his goal is to get his children out of that Egypt, man. Get them out of that land because that's what's going on. Back then, our people were suffering, man. We were suffering violence and good Lord, the Bible don't even. There's some things that go on. If just one instance of making brick without straw, like we talked about to reiterate again, you know how hard that is to try to do that? They go and pick up stubble, like go around and scratch for that. Do you know how hard it is? And have a sheet on your back and 1 o'clock in the morning, you got to get back up at 5 o'clock in the morning. You know how hard work that is? In other words, it messed their whole schedule up.
Right.
But you know how it is. So our people lived through it and finish reading. They're trying to, and that's what goes on nowadays.
Right.
That what we talked about before, how hard it is to go out to work. And you know how hard it is to work 2 jobs, man? Anybody ever done that? Yeah. How hard it is to work 2 jobs, it'll wear you out. But that's what our children, when the bondage that we had to go through back then, and the Lord said you're gonna go through that bondage again in America. And that's what Esau's putting us in right now. Right? And we had, by the way, we try to do our job. Hell, that may have been that man's second job on that dock, right? And what they do? Acted crazy. And this poor man sitting up there just doing his job. He said, fine, I'm tired of this. And our black people, our people, we see that as brothers. What they were really doing was rescuing a brother. Right? That's how they saw it. You know, but they, like one of the captains said, they're gonna try to change the narrative. To me, that's why they got it called a brawl. In other words, well, we can't defend ourselves. Right. But what is that? You know, one person gonna go up there and get pushed? What you gonna do? Huh? You gonna protect yourself? This old man said, "Oh, this man here." But see, he's lucky that wasn't even a younger person. Right. He would have got some whooped across his head, even worse. That's why those brothers had to come and help that older brother, man. You know, because that's in I.S.U.P.K. That's the kind of stuff happened. You got all surrounded. They don't know what hornet's nest they will stir up. Now, I don't advocate violence, but I advocate defending yourself if you have to. Right. And with that, ain't no talking. It's like General Muhammad said, this ain't no prayer warrior time, man. Right. This ain't that. This is time to be war. Right. Because he said, I'm gonna make you like a god, man, like a prophet. I'm gonna finish reading that. Where we at? Verse 2.
Verse 2.
Right.
Thou shalt speak all that I command thee, and Aaron thy brother shall speak unto Pharaoh that he send the children of Israel out of his land.
Yeah, it's out of his land. In other words, you notice he's look how the Lord put this. It says out of his land, because you realize, like the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. See all these scenarios playing themselves back. Pharaoh had his own land. All of our heathens out here, oppressors that are against us, they got their own land. Yeah, right. I'm sorry. What are you saying? Okay. Yeah, they got their own land, right?
Right.
And then that's what it's Pharaoh. What is the Hamites? Was the Egyptians? They had their own land too. Pharaoh knew that was his land. He knew this is land why he pangolins and bats and cats and rats and dogs or whatever the hell they ate. And that's why the Lord had to look at them, shook and said, our children can't exist here, set up no kingdom here. Get them out of here, get them away from these other oppressors and heathen. Go ahead. Verse 3, right?
Yeah, verse 3. Mm-hmm. And I will harden Pharaoh's heart.
Right.
And multiply my signs and my wonders in the land of Egypt.
What does this mean, man? What does it mean gonna harden Pharaoh's heart? Go ahead.
He's gonna make them not.
You gonna harden Pharaoh's heart?
He's gonna make them not want to free the Israel. He's gonna make them.
Well, what's the heart?
Mind.
So what is gonna harden? So what is up?
He's gonna basically have him stuck in his ways, not to free.
And that, what is that called? He's gonna harden his mind, right? Or hard-headed.
Right.
He's gonna make him stubborn. Right. He wanted, in other words, keep him there. He wanted to make the pick, keep my children there, because if you let them go, then we don't even have no fight. Lord, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, as Henry said, Lord, he wants to show you something.
The Lord's smart, man. The Lord knows what to do, because Pharaoh, we got to understand, Pharaoh was a power back then.
Right.
There's a power to be reckoned with. And in other words, Pharaoh, he ain't letting the people go. So let's make him so stubborn and hard. But in other words, I gotta make him. Boy, there's a whole lot of things I'm throwing in my mind. It's like I gotta make him seem like you mad, and you don't want to let the people go, because you got to be very, very pushed and coerced.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Righteous. The Lord had used some real judgment going on there, man. To let this Pharaoh think that he can actually beat the children of Israel. Well, he knew he had them in bondage, and he knew Moses was at this point, well, was a just the leader of them, you know, and that's why he recognized that. But in other words, but I got to show my power through you. And Pharaoh's gonna see that, but I got to make Pharaoh hard-headed. Right. So when I read that again, verse 3.
Verse 3, and I will harden Pharaoh's heart.
I'm gonna harden your mind, bro. I'm a hard-headed you. That's what it is. I'm a hard-headed this Pharaoh Hamite, right? Go ahead.
And multiply my signs and my wonders in the land of Egypt.
In other words, he's gonna multiply. That means you're getting ready to get a lot of signs, and you better let these people go here.
Right.
And the wonders in this land of Egypt. Go ahead, read verse 4.
Verse 4. But Pharaoh shall not hearken unto you.
That Pharaoh shall not what? He ain't gonna listen, right?
Right.
Ain't gonna, now the Lord already knew this all ahead of time, so he is prophecy right here, right? Before it even happened. Go ahead, read.
That I may lay my hand upon Egypt and bring forth my armies and my people, the children of Israel.
Why did he say bring forth my armies? Because he named them, he called them armies. These are the armies that came out.
Right.
This is the Lord army.
Right.
We're part of that army. We're what tribes up there? Judah. I'm Judah. We got in this in South Carolina, we got Gad, but I.S.U.P.K. We got everybody up there on that chart up there is in the army of the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this is. Because he said, I'm gonna bring out. What did he say? Where was that? The families of Kerub. There it is. Read the end of 26 again. Read 26. I'm sorry.
Exodus
6 and 26, right?
6 and 26. These are that Aaron and Moses, to whom the Lord said, bring out the children of Israel from the land of Egypt according to their armies.
According to their what?
Armies.
According to their army. So the Most High is saying, in other words, not only these peoples, these are my armies. These do the fight for me, man.
Right.
And when I bid them to, now read verse 4 again.
Verse 4.
Right.
Exodus 7 and 4.
Right.
But Pharaoh shall not hearken unto you,
right,
that I may lay my hand upon Egypt and bring forth my army.
Those are the armies he's talking about right there. Go ahead.
And my people, the children of Israel, out of the land of Egypt by great judgment.
Right, by small judgment.
Great judgment.
When he said great judgment, you can see what's getting ready to happen. He ain't playing around, boy. Finish reading.
Verse 5. And the Egyptians shall know that I am the Lord, when I stretch forth my hand upon Egypt and bring forth out the children of Israel.
And bring out. And bring not forth, but I understand it. And bring out. Go ahead, read that again.
When I stretch forth my hand upon Egypt and bring out the children of Israel from among them.
Among them. Now, bring them away from these false idol people, these Hamites, man.
Right.
Go ahead, read.
Verse 6. And Moses and Aaron did as the Lord commanded them, so did they. And verse 7. And Moses was 80 years old, and Aaron 83 years old. And they spake unto Pharaoh.
Go back. And Moses, read that again. And
Moses was 80 years old,
right?
And Aaron 83 years old. When they spake unto Pharaoh.
Okay. And then what's 80? 80.
Right.
What's 83? Y'all been reading this Hebrew, so you know you can add stuff, can't you?
Right.
What? That's what it is. He's talking about somebody 80 and 83 years old, man.
Right.
And think about it. It's an old man. Go ahead.
It's like, man, that's probably another reason why Moses thought he couldn't do it, man. They were looking at, he thought everybody was gonna look at him like he's just an old man that don't know nothing. He's going crazy.
This is all part of the uncircumcised lip going on here. All right. You know, look, I've got speech impediment, and I'm old. I ain't exactly doing what you ask. That's why he sit up there shaking and trembling when he see this burning bush. That's why he had to fast. You know, you have to be great spiritual value to get up there. You know, that's why the people came down and looked upon Moses' eyes and said, "Oh my Lord, we don't." Why didn't why didn't they receive all of the commandments of the Most High?
Moses,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Moses and Israel.
Yeah, why didn't they receive all the commandments? Go ahead.
Because they were still holding on to things from Egypt.
Yeah, that's part of it. Yeah. I mean, that's you're both right. But the 10 Commandments, there's 600 some commandments.
Right.
They weren't able to bear them. So it goes in what you're saying.
Right.
They were not able to bear all the commandments. We're gonna find that out here. They were not able. The 10, they just got to them when you read them. When you throw those 10 commandments at them, like they scared half to death.
Right.
And then basically, they weren't able to bear them. Is going along with what you guys are saying. But that's the answer. In other words, they didn't even get to the 11th, 12th, 13th, all the way to 600. They were just scared. They're fearful, man.
Right.
Go to Exodus 20 here real quick. Let's show you. I mean, you know, you've got to think about it. A lot of people don't see the perspective of what really went on, man. Now, go to Exodus 20.
Exodus 21.
20 verse 1.
Exodus chapter 20, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
And God spake all these words, saying,
Mm-hmm.
verse 2, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of
Here
Egypt,
they are. We're kind of going ahead of time here. Go ahead.
out of the house of bondage.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 3,
Mm-hmm.
thou shalt have no other gods before me.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
All right, and then go all the way to thou shalt go to the verse 18.
Verse 18,
Mm-hmm.
and all the people saw the thunderings and the lightnings
Mhm.
and the noise of the trumpet and the mountain smoking.
Mm.
And when people saw it, they removed and stood afar off.
They did what?
They
Get the hell out of there, man. They go ahead. I'm sorry, go ahead.
They removed and stood afar off.
In other words, they didn't come close.
Right.
They got afar off because they were what? Verse 19.
Verse 19. And they said unto Moses, speak thou with us, and we will hear. But let not God speak with us, lest we die.
They were scared. In other words, Moses, you know, you speak with us. We don't want to hear the Most High.
Right.
Because, and so he's trying to tell them commandments. He's telling them all. Thou shalt not. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Thou shalt not. You know, thou shalt not. Thou shalt not lie, steal, murder.
Right.
And then, but by the time they get to this, read verse 19 again?
Verse 19.
Right.
And they said unto Moses, speak thou with us, and we will hear. But let not God speak with us, lest we die.
They were afraid they're going to die. Always telling them his commandments.
Right.
But they were trembling. That's how nervous they were, right?
Right.
And read verse 20.
Verse 20.
Right.
And Moses said unto the people, fear not, for God is come to prove you.
To what?
To prove you.
To what?
Prove you.
What does that mean?
To test you.
Test you.
Right.
That's right. That's a simple way of putting it. He's coming to test you.
Right.
In other words, they had to understand. They thought, but see, you got these commands were so magnanimous.
Right.
They were so strong till they felt convicted.
Right.
In other words, to prove you means straighten your life out. And Moses, that's what I've done. That's what Moses is saying. That's what I've done. I was on uncircumcised lips, remember?
Right.
And then go ahead. Prove you and what?
And that his fear may be before your faces, that ye sin not.
That you sin not. That's the whole reason right there. That's what they were. They were afraid.
Right.
They couldn't even bear all these commandments. That's why there's 10. You understand?
Yeah.
Now that's the reason why they didn't even get to Leviticus. Don't eat any pork.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure they were chopping on that too. But the Lord had to go through and straighten them out section by section.
Right.
Book by book. Prophecy by prophecy, right? Just like he does us right now. He has to spank us and let us know. And they knew they were children of the Most High, but they didn't understand that. That's the reason why they were fearful and trembling.
Right.
When you're in the work of the Most High, you have no reason to fear and tremble. Right. You don't. You don't have a reason to, but they did. That tells you how far they were from the Most High. Go ahead.
Oh, no, yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, based off what you said, just kind of reiterate. Yeah, they, like, you say they have to do it by sections. But just like we're doing here, you know, you can't just, shove it down their throat. You just like, you gotta give them milk.
You gotta.
Ain't gonna change overnight.
When you first start reading things in the Bible and Lashon Kodash,
Right.
you get a little bit at a time. It's a building blocks, a building lesson. You don't learn stuff unless you some sort of governed genius.
Right.
And then there are people but it's still gonna take you time, right?
Right.
It's gonna take you time to learn and understand. And even when you're reading the Bible, the Most High has to prove. What did it say right there? Read verse 20 again.
Verse 20, and
Right.
Moses said unto the people,
Right.
fear not,
Right.
for God is come to prove you.
To prove you.
Right.
Prove me now here, said the Lord, that I will not open up the windows of heaven.
Right.
He's trying to say, in other words, the Lord was telling him to show you through tests.
Right.
Test me, just test me, because I'm gonna test you.
Right.
Damn sure gonna test you. Don't come up here thinking that you arrived. That's what he's saying. He said, the Lord, Moses. Now, how did Moses know that? He said, "Fear not."
Right.
Was Moses afraid?
Yeah.
Read that again.
Oh, you talking this time.
Read verse 20. Yeah, this right there, verse 20. Yeah.
And Moses said unto the people, fear not.
Now if I can tell you to fear not, don't worry about it. What am I? I'm good. I don't got over mine.
Yeah, he was in the beginning.
Yeah, he wasn't beginning. But right here, let's read it in context.
Not right here.
Read it again.
And Moses said unto the people,
Right.
fear not.
Fear not. Don't worry about it, man. I'm working on mine. I'm striving for my perfection, right?
Right.
But what else? For God is what?
For God is come to prove you.
Now, how do you know that? Because he proved the hell out of me. That's how can I disseminate something to somebody if I don't know? That's why that would be hypocrisy. Right? Go ahead, read. And that what?
And that his fear may be before your faces, that ye sin not.
that you shall sin not, right?
Right.
That's what it's saying. We go back to. I just skipped ahead to show you because I knew that the Lord was basically trying to prove his children.
Right.
Those commandments that he gave them in the Bible, they were so fearful and afraid when they was reading them. You know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of I'm trying to think of a scenario like it's like you first learn something, you're convicted. Right. Stop smoking this weed, man. And then you walk around the corner and you walk around. Let's say when you was at home, I'll use it right there. You're at home and your mom said, "Now don't you beat, don't let me catch you smoking or whatever." I don't know. Just I'm trying to give you something, right? Don't let me catch you around here doing what you ain't supposed to do. You walk around there and your dad walking around with looking at you. You looking. What's the fear that you get? Scared as absolute hell. Right. I know that's how I felt. I felt a feeling that I ain't that. Lord, I don't even want to exist right now. And my grandma just throw a skillet at me. And then after a while, you got to the point where you didn't fear that because you did what? You didn't disobey. Right. That's what he wanted to get the children of Israel to. Right? So we're on verse 7. What? Get them to where they would disobey.
Right.
Where we at?
Yeah, Exodus. Yeah.
7.
You want to go back to 7?
Go back to 7.
Okay. Exodus 7 and 3.
Where we at?
Oh, well.
No, go ahead. That's fine enough. Go ahead. Read.
And I will harden Pharaoh's heart.
Right.
And multiply my signs and wonders in the land of Egypt.
They're going to hard-headed him. Go ahead. Verse 4.
Verse 4. But Pharaoh shall not hearken unto you, that I may lay my hand upon Egypt and bring forth mine armies, and let my people, the children of Israel, out of the land of Egypt by great judgment.
Pharaoh ain't gonna listen.
Right.
He ain't gonna listen. Just like we go out in camp and we tell our people,
mm-hmm.
And we're trying to, our people, like they didn't hearken. Well, the mayor of Greenville, he ain't gonna listen.
Right.
Give our people back our 40 acres and you out there. They ain't gonna do. Right. So in other words, for the Most High, that's what the Lord's doing. Is in other words, He's giving them a chance. Get the children of Israel back power, get them over the keys. The earth is given to the hand of the wicked, right?
Right.
Who is it given to? It's given to them. So all they got to do is just say, all right, I give up. Y'all are real people. But what did they do? Over and over again, right? And what did they do? They keep us in bondage, right? Even now. How do you know that? How do you know we're in bondage? Look at what happened, like I said, down in Alabama. You don't think that was a bondage?
Right.
You don't think that's and did somebody, I thought I didn't read it and research it, but did somebody say some of those guys were slave owners? Their profiles were slave owners? Yeah, some of those people on that dock there, I didn't get the name, but I got whiff of that on the internet. It's like some of those people on that dock. And matter of fact, that dock was a place where they had elaborate on it. But they had slavery. They had slave markets, right?
Right.
That's what I was trying to say. Slave trade, yeah. And some of those people. When I think about it, if those people, go ahead.
It's like I was just about to say, which would make sense of why they were out there.
Right.
If they angry at the brother,
if they live in that town in Montgomery, I live down there. I live in Union Springs, Alabama. My people were born from Union Springs, Alabama, and then by way, and then we moved to Florida, of course. But Montgomery was way racist in Florida.
Right.
Jesus, you can even walk this. You can even walk through the center of the town. This is back now. We go on vacation because we live in Florida, where we had our own side of town, But when I'm sitting up here, coming back to vacation to see our people in Union Springs, Alabama, which is only about 10 miles outside of Montgomery, same type of people. You couldn't walk down the center of the town. No black person. I said, how do you get? I tell them, Mom, can we shop? Hell no. I said, where are our shops at? And I couldn't believe it. You had to get off the sidewalk, walk in back up the town on the little grass trails, and they had these little cardboard shacks, kid you not, with tin tops over them. And that's where you got your, my mom, they give you $5. That's a hell of a lot of money back then. You go buy your little potato chips and soda, And I think I'm doing good, man. And I'm looking at the town. I noticed this when I was a kid. We couldn't even go down the middle of the street. You couldn't even walk on the sidewalk in Birmingham, in Union Springs, Alabama. No, I can imagine what Montgomery was like. But to get it's only 10 miles from there, 10, 15 miles from there. It ain't that far. And that's what I saw. But nowadays you walk. Of course you can now. They got black sheriffs, black mayors in places now. Yeah. But that's what it was like in the 60s, man. You got to understand something. Our people have gone through that. So the only people that have been in bondage was who? Who is Exodus? What is that? Deuteronomy 28th chapter aimed at. Aimed at Israel. Right. It ain't aimed at no other nation. Right. Who's this whole Bible talking about? Israel. Who are the prophets in here? Who's Moses? That's us. So how any other nation can come up here and claim, when we talked about that last night, when the Most High separated Esau from the womb, to let you know that this Bible, the Lord separated. That's what he's trying to do now. They separate this Pharaoh from us. Get this fool out of here. And that's what the Lord's been trying to do from us from the beginning of time through AD 70, through America's bondage, of course, from Egypt and where Syria and all these other places, Babylon, and then through America, all the way to from my places down there in Alabama, and then even some in Florida to now. We see all that. Right. And we look back and say, we're the people in bondage. You cannot tell me any different. I just need to get an I.S.U.P.K to know the difference. Right. And people back then, they knew, man, we had a lot of bondage going on. And it still is. And our people can't, but that day, what did our people, they got the spirit, they said, we're gonna sit up here and fight back. They caught that spirit, right? And learn how to use that chair and everything. Now, I ain't saying go around there and hurt nobody, but the word is defend yourself, right? You have to, right? Damn sure we ain't gonna let nobody get choked out. I tell you what, if I'd have been there and George Floyd would kneel on his neck, ain't no hell way I'd have let that man. I'd been in jail. I had to go say, look, cop, you can't be doing this. Yeah, you don't allow this man to be choked out. Knee on his neck, the man can't breathe. You got to do something. You got to do something. It'd be a good day to get a record.
Right.
Choking a man out. What was that man they choked out on the sidewalk? That what it was? What was he doing?
Crying out for help.
I mean, he didn't really do nothing to really cause it get killed. I mean, he man trying to support his family. Said, "What, Lucy cigarettes? And you gonna kill him, man? What's wrong with all these people, man?" What did the boy got killed on the train, man? That was Michael Jackson impersonator, right? That's the one. Yeah, I was talking about the one that Eric Gardner got choked out too. That Jordan Neely got he was on the train, and they that's another chokehold thing. You know, and I'm saying to myself, these people are barbaric.
Right.
Yeah, go ahead.
And the devil, he,
But I don't want to.
he be using the excuse that he just came from the army. Basically, he was really wanting to do that.
Right.
He was waiting on the chance to do something like that.
Oh yeah. They waiting. All I can say is that you won't be choking out nobody else like that. That's the whole thing. You ain't gonna be choking out there as long as you go to camp. They try to choke one of my brothers, and we're gonna show you what time it is, right? We will be ready for you. What you got? We'll for these. Pharaoh was violent. Hell, the Queen of England was violent for cutting off our hands because we ain't get enough diamonds and gold and rubies out of the mine, so they cut off our hands. They all kind of we've always had violence exerted against us. And nowadays, seem like it says from the oppressor Esau. What is that? For the violence? Give me that.
Obadiah.
Right.
1:10.
Right.
For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover
The
thee.
Bible says shame. They were just like they were shamed on that boat that day. I mean, on that dock that day.
Right.
This is what Esau does. Just like they were shamed in the 60s. That's like they've always been shameful people. All these nations have choked us out. Even what is that? In Psalms 83, we had a lot of nations check us out. Read that again. I'm sorry.
For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover
And
thee.
who is this brother Jacob? Who was that? Esau, right? Everybody know we proved it in Genesis. Remember we read that last night?
Right.
Genesis 25, 1 and 3. I gotta read that again, dude. For thy violence, Esau. We talking about Esau, Edomites.
Right.
I can't say AKA the you know who. I don't want to get Esau, the Edomite.
Right.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, read that. And this is the shame that covers our enemy Esau. That Job 9 and 24 that rules this earth right now. But we don't rule it. We're the one getting violated. Go ahead, read.
And thou shalt be cut off forever.
Most High gonna cut them off forever. Is this the museum? Yeah, this is it. Let me see that Esau. It's gonna be a. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's a good name.
I mean, it's like the Most High wants us to be away from this oppressor, man. But these are the people that want to choke us out anytime they get ready. Go ahead and read verse 5 there. Right. Anything in the chapter? Who we got?
Yeah, that's kind, sir. That's right.
Who
We
said
got a sister, Tashara from Louisiana. Got Officer Nayar checking in.
Nayar, all right.
And we got Sister Alicia, the rib of Officer Mardakia checking in.
Great. Clap it up for that. Clap it up for people to check. How about Shem Yahushua Barakatah to my brothers, Yahweh Shemar Alatah Bahashem Yahushua and all the sisters there. We appreciate you joining the class, man, to share with us Exodus that we're doing today. Go ahead, start reading. Finish reading here. We got a little bit more time. Yeah.
Exodus
Go ahead.
Exodus 7:5.
Yeah, that's what we are.
And the Egyptians shall know that I am the Lord.
These Egyptians don't know. These Edomites up in here don't know that they're the Lord too, right? It beat that man out of his crops. They thought that it must be a God out there. Like Moses said, I'm gonna make you a God. Our people were out there thumping, boy. You know, it must be, in other words, something going on out here. They should have known better. Then the Bible said that we stronger than them anyway, right? What are you doing now? This man got beat out of his crops. I thought they were.
Hey,
Go ahead.
them crops up past his ankles, man. How that happened?
I thought they were. I'm not lying. When I first saw them, I had my glass. I thought they were the flippers that you flip through the water. Go ahead, Mark. But I know you was.
No, y'all got
Hey, that was funny, bro. That was funny.
I thought it was cool. I thought it was a guy they had on the deck. I'm not lying. And then I had to look close. If they would have had Croc, I would just slipped on. You know what did he say? He said this guy, his Crocs were up on his ankles. And I'm looking, they made flippers.
Right,
Those are stupid out. Those are Crocs. I said, and then I had to think about, this man, beat him out of his Crocs.
Slipping aside.
Oh, the Egyptians shall know that I'm the Lord. In other words, them boys got a thumping on them today.
Right.
The Most High ain't playing around, man.
Right.
He said the I.S.U.P.K has been around since 1969. The man during YAHANNA has been teaching that these things will come to pass, man.
Right.
Our people just need to get the zeal to come out of these Christian churches and stop believing. And the more they see that Esau and Ham and all these other places out here, and Moabites and Japanese and East Indians are against us, the more they will come out of Christian church and try to find this Bible, man. And that's when we're going to be there to help them out. Let's clap for that. We're going to help them out. We're going to show them under command of General YAHANNA how to follow this Bible. We preach the prophets of the Most High, right? We're going to show them. I mean, you know, the Lord State comes saying all they just need is this, okay, brotherhood. They're learning. And I'm getting zeal, man. In other words, that's your first start. What did it say? We're bringing armies out. Some of those brothers are part of these armies, man.
Right.
They just need to know who they are. That's all it is.
Right.
Am I right?
Right.
Go ahead. Where we at now?
Yes.
And they're not like these IUIC instead of they're joining who? The oppressor.
Yes.
They're doing it. They're doing exactly opposite of what the Bible says.
Right.
They're not they are brothers, but let me say, I'll say they are of our seed, but they don't act like brothers.
Right.
That's how I say it, right?
Right.
Go ahead.
Verse 6. And Moses and Aaron did as the Lord commanded them, so did they. Verse 7. And Moses was 80 years old.
Oh yeah, we read this. Yeah. Go ahead.
80 years old, and Aaron 83 years old.
Right.
When they spake unto Pharaoh.
Right.
Verse 8. And the Lord spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, verse 9. When Pharaoh shall speak unto you, saying, show a miracle for you, then thou shalt say unto Aaron, take thy rod and cast it before Pharaoh, and it shall become a serpent.
And the Lord said, I'm going to make you look like a god that Pharaoh did.
Right.
In other words, that's only the Lord has the power to do that.
Right.
You know, he has the power to do that. Just like that. If he did it back then, what would you think he won't do that nowadays, man? All we got to do is just be the mouthpieces for the Most High, and do what the Lord says. Speaking to the wind, tell our people, man, help them catch that zeal, man. They need this.
Right.
They don't need to be understanding that they're gonna get beat down. But I mean, what would they expect? What did Esau expect us to do? To sit back and do what? What would they expect?
Definitely expected us to take the beating, for the brother to take the beating and nobody to help him out.
That's how arrogant they are, right?
Right.
They that arrogant to think that nobody would sick. Come on now, how many was it? 7? Did that include the women?
Right.
7-1. Would they think that nobody was gonna come and help? At least one person. That's how arrogant Esau has to be. Those days,
They think the Wrong day.
He picked the wrong day, man. And then, they picked the wrong day, wrong time. What the results are, you see it.
Right.
And I thought it was, wasn't that guy there with a couple black eyes up in there? Was that real?
Yeah.
Basically, something like the Israelite, two black eyes.
Yeah.
They basically were trying to get sympathy on what he was saying on the video.
Right. But that stuff was real. Yeah. You reap what he sowed. I mean, he sowed some bad seeds up in there. So, people ain't gonna let you go and beat across the head no more, man. We catching the zeal. There was some Nat Turners up in there that day.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently. Am I right?
Right.
Go ahead.
Verse 10. And Moses and Aaron went unto Pharaoh, and they did so as the Lord had commanded. And Aaron cast down his rod before Pharaoh and before his servant, and it became a serpent.
He's showing him his power, man.
Right.
He cast down his rod. It's just a rod. It's like we talked about last time we did this. It's just a rod. That's why the Most High is showing you that. Look, man, I can do whatever I need to do. Right. This is the Lord's power now.
Right.
He's showing him. We want to get into another lesson, so we'll just stay right here. Let's go ahead.
Verse 11.
Right.
Then Pharaoh also called the wise men and the sorcerers.
He called his wise men, right?
Yeah.
Oh Lord. Hey, Pharaoh, what's Pharaoh? Does Pharaoh really have powers? How do we know that? And Pharaoh also called what?
And Pharaoh also called the wise men and the sorcerers. Now the magicians of Egypt that also did in like manner with their enchantment.
Oh man, look up some of these words. Man. Look up magic. Look up sorcerer. And you look up magic there. We'll show you what Pharaoh had. Because y'all don't realize that. Y'all remember Ronald Reagan? His wife, she was like a witch,
Right,
Seriously.
right.
If you look it up. And they used to consult with her, man. That's how wicked Esau is. They consult with necromancers and sorcerers and magicians. Egypt is what they did back in Egypt, they do right here in America right now. Because earth is given to the hand of the wicked. But look up there. Let's show you what. See, when the Lord in verse 10, when he said, when in verse 7 said, the Lord said, and Moses said, I'm gonna make thee a god to Pharaoh. This was the real power of the Most High.
Right.
But what did Pharaoh have? Go ahead. What you got?
Pharaoh,
No, I'm sorry. What do you have definition?
he has one like
What you got? Read what you
I
got.
got enchantments.
Enchantment. Read that.
A feeling of great pleasure, delight.
A feeling.
Witchcraft.
No power. A feeling.
Right.
No real power. Just he's feeling. Right. Get out of your feelings.
Right.
And what else? Read it again.
A feeling of great pleasure, delight.
Delight. No real power. Just in other words, they're playing with your emotions,
Right.
your feelings. Go ahead. What you got, Clouds out?
It's like
Your illusion. It's an illusion, man.
Right.
magic.
Magic.
They say the science or art of magic, the Persian priestly case, who, like the Levites, were devoted to the practice of religion, with a wide extension of the term magus.
Magi. In other words,
Magic.
they were doing magic. They were doing stuff that wasn't real. Just stuff to play with your emotions and your illusion. Go ahead.
Basically, the hand is quicker than the eye.
Right. Like the card tricks and different things. Go ahead.
It's like based off the definition. I've noticed. He said
Levi?
Yeah, a lot of the Asians they do it. That's on the
Yeah, but they
that proves that we don't. We're doing it dumb stuff.
well, that's a whole nother subject.
Right.
But Levi Levi had gotten into using those. You got to understand that the skills that we had, we worship other gods.
Right.
And that's when you do that, now you're going to have some magic going on here.
Right.
That's why the Lord has said, get these people out here, because Pharaoh and all these Egyptians, that's what they were using.
Right.
They were the like Nimrod, and the Christmas trees and all these things. Once you start believing, you invoke these gods.
Yeah.
And then of course our people, you live with them, guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna follow up and do that. That's that. So the real story is this: Pharaoh was a Hamite.
Right.
Read that again, 11.
And
This is what they use, trying to do the same power, use fake power.
Right.
Go ahead.
Then Pharaoh also called the wise men and the sorcerers, now the magicians of Egypt. They also did in like manner with their enchantments.
Mm-hmm. They did in like manner with their enchantments, right?
Right.
Go ahead, read verse 12.
Verse 12. For they cast down every man his rod,
No, they all of them had a rod in their hand, right? But they want to do like Moses. Go ahead.
and they became serpents.
Right.
But Aaron's rod swallowed up their rod.
Aaron's rod swallowed up their rod. In other words, so what was going on here is the Lord had real power. Right. And so that piece of wood, man, that they had, what was that? It would look just a rod, like that. Just a regular old rod or something. Oh. And that rod, yeah. Yeah, that's a rod. That's the real watch. Appreciate that. This is the rod. Officer Mark, I can get showing us. This is the rod right here, man. This not the rod, but this is a facsimile of the rod. It looks like that.
Right.
This is the rod that they had. Something like this, where they threw it down. We're gonna be like Moses. But all Moses had was a stick just like this.
Right.
And it's to show the real Lord's power. This wood. But the magicians sleight of hand, and if you can get to see, they working with the illusions. Right. Satan putting all these illusions on this stuff. And so they get this to make it look like what? Like they know what they're doing. Right. What's that again?
I was just saying.
They want you to think that, oh, we got the same power. But what actually happened? The Most High said, all right, read verse 12 again.
For they cast down every man his rod, and they became serpents. But Aaron's rod swallowed up their rod.
Swallowed them up. Now, come on now. It's almost like an impossibility, but to them. But when the Most High does something, he wants to show you his power. He said he's going to show his power and his signs and his wonders, didn't he?
Right.
That's one of the first starts right there. He showed them Pharaoh was weak right there.
Right.
He probably was shaking. Probably, oh my God. In other words, I ain't got no power. But what did this do? What was the whole goal? It's to harden Pharaoh's heart. Read verse 13.
Verse 13.
Right.
And he hardened Pharaoh's heart.
Right.
That he hearkened not unto them, as the Lord has said.
In other words, the Lord already prophesied that Pharaoh gonna look at this and do what? He's mad. In other words, jealousy. All these things. When you see stuff like jealousy, envy, pride, melody, what else would you be? How come you got a rod that we just showed you, and I throw it down and it turn into a snake, and I pick it back up on my hand again, but theirs when the piece of wood that you throw down and they get chewed up by the real God, just chew them up, and they gonna be. Wouldn't you be jealous?
Yeah.
Everybody looking. You embarrassed. They were embarrassed, right? I ain't gonna say would you be jealous. They were embarrassed, right? Because we ain't there. We got access to the real power of the Most High, right? But that's what happened. Pharaoh was hard headed. Right. His heart was hard, and he did what? He refused. I still refuse to let go of this people. Right? Verse 15.
Verse 15. Get thee unto Pharaoh in the morning. Lo, he goeth out unto the water, and thou shalt stand by the river's brink against he comes. And the rod which was turned to a serpent, thou shalt take it in thy hand. Verse 16. And thou shalt say unto him, the Lord God of the Hebrews,
God of the who?
of the Hebrews,
And let you know that the Lord, it keeps saying that. It ain't saying the Lord God of the Egyptians, did he?
Right.
He didn't say the Lord God of the Moabites.
Right.
Pharaoh knew exactly who he was faced against, did he not?
Right.
The Lord God of the Hebrews. Go ahead.
has sent me unto thee, saying, let my people go.
Let them go. You know,
Right.
Let my people go. Stop chopping us down in the street. That's what it is. You know, stop killing us.
Right.
Go ahead.
That they may serve me in the wilderness.
Right.
And behold, yeah, here, what did it say?
Hitherto.
Hitherto,
That's old English.
right.
Go ahead.
Hitherto thou wouldest not hear.
Right.
Verse 17. Thus saith the Lord, and this thou shalt know that I am the Lord. Behold, I will smite with the rod that is in my hand upon the waters which are in the river, and they shall be turned to blood.
Turn to blood, right?
Right.
And we're gonna stop here. But you will pick this up. Just make sure you mark that 17. We'll pick this up next week. What is the Most High getting ready to do some signs and wonders right here? Go turn Pharaoh's heart around, right?
Right.
And these plagues are coming out on in America right now,
Right.
aren't they?
That's right.
These plagues coming out all over, man. Earthquakes, mudslide. What else? Tornadoes.
Right.
You know, fires. Go ahead.
Honolulu, all that on fire right now.
Yeah, I saw that.
Whole island on fire. They were having
COVID.
to jump in the water and all that.
Jumping in the water. Yeah, I saw that. That fire must have been strong.
Yeah,
Because I saw the car just sitting there, just like all they would charred. Ain't nobody had time to move them cars, man. Yeah. Strong winds. That's right. The Lord is doing the Lord does these things, man. He's doing this to get rid of he's getting ready to get rid of this America.
right.
This Babylon, this place of second Egypt here. The Most High is taking care of this, man. He's showing you these people. This place, Esau's finished, man. His kingdom's done.
Right.
He's getting ready to be destroyed and remembered as a museum, right? In other words, the Lord is getting ready to take Slack it. The Most High is getting ready to take care of this people that dare to be over us all the time, right?
Right.
That's why all these things are happening. Anybody more questions in there?
Lots.
Yeah, we're gonna finish this next week. So we got Exodus 7. Is it 18 or 19? 17. We'll get into all of the things that actually made this hard-headed.
Right.
Pharaoh's hard-headed even more, right? To let you know that because salvation, the Most High is trying to save his people, man. Who's salvation for?
Israel.
Find that. Find me that text. Malachi, what is it? I'm sorry, Matthew 5:17. Salvation for us. Do that. It's for us, man. Salvation ain't for these other nations, man.
Oh, sorry.
You know, it's for us. Go ahead.
No, that's like that's what that was.
What you got?
It's in Matthew 5:17.
5 and what?
17.
No. What? Find it. It's find the
Yeah, I got it.
what you got?
I don't have it yet. It's Matthew 5:17. That's the one I'm looking for.
Okay, 5. I thought you knew which one. Here, let me find it for you. 5 and 1 and 21. Get that one, okay? 5 and who Christ died for, man. Matthew 1 and 20. Matthew 10:5. 10 and 5. That's what I meant. Go ahead. Go there.
All right, Matthew 10 and 5.
Read.
These 12 sent forth, Jesus sent forth and commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles. And go.
And I don't want to read that. So give me Matthew 1 and 21. Right. I don't want to get into it. So they start talking about it. But it's the same thing. We can read that, but I guess let's go to 1 and 21.
Matthew 1 and 21.
Right.
You said 1 and 21?
Matthew 1 and 21. Matthew 1.
Matthew 1 and 21.
Right.
And she shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Jesus.
Right.
For he shall save his people.
We're going to say who?
His people.
His people is the children of Israel who we've been talking about all this time.
Right.
The people of the Hebrews, man. He's going to save his people from what?
From their sin.
From their sins. We're the only ones that's been through salvation is for us, man. Who's it for?
Israel.
It's for Israel, man. That's give me Romans 11 and 26. That's who Israel is for. It's for the people. It's not for these. It's not for pharaohs. It's not for what's his name? What's president? Joe Biden. It ain't for none of these nations out here that try to want to claim the Lord simply because they want to get into their feelings. They're not part of the seed. Go ahead, read. Well, yeah, Romans 11.
Romans 11 and 26. And so all Israel.
So what?
All Israel.
How many Israel?
All Israel.
All of Israel's what?
Shall be saved.
Shall be saved. All of Israel. We've been talking about Israel this whole almost 2 hours here. All of Israel, right?
Right.
It ain't all of Moab. It ain't all of Pharaoh. It ain't all the Hamites.
Right.
No Japanese. All of Israel. What now?
Shall be saved.
Right.
As it is written.
Right.
There shall come out of Zion the deliverer.
Right.
Shall.
Christ.
Right.
It's going to save Israel. Read that again. All of what?
And so all Israel shall be saved.
All of Israel shall be saved. Read it again. And they finish reading, I'm sorry.
As it is written, there shall come out of Zion the deliverer, and shall turn away ungodliness from Jacob.
Right. When you say Zion, we just saying Zion. It's just another way of saying Zion.
Right.
With the Z, but you can say Zion. I mean, we understand.
Right.
All of the Zion, that's a deliverer, Christ, a Mashiach, YAHANNA. All of Israel. That's what our people need to understand. That the Most High, but all of us ain't gonna. All the people don't want it. They don't want to.
Right.
Go ahead.
When it says Zion, that's basically talking about David, right? I'm like saying like the thing is the house of David.
Read that again. The house of Zion. Zion is just like the Israelites. It's us. They call us Zion. It's just the people of Zion. Right? Read that again.
And so all Israel shall be saved, as it is written.
Right.
There shall come out of Zion the deliverer, and shall turn away ungodliness from Jacob.
It's gonna come out of Zion. It's a place, yeah. It's like Zion. It's this. You can look it up, but Christ is going to deliver his people. He ain't here to deliver nobody else. That's the whole point. So all these oppressors that oppress us all the way to this time, they're going to be. They're not the ones that's going to be salvaged and saved. I mean, we'll get into that in another lesson. But the look it up. Look Zion up. Since you got before we finish up here. Go ahead.
Zion, not the Compact Bible Dictionary.
Right.
One of the hills on which Jerusalem stood.
Right. It's a place. One of the hills. Right. So Zion is one of the hills. It's just a place in Zion. Christ came, hung out. Came from Zion, from the hills of Jerusalem. That's where we used to live. That's how you know where the children of Israel lived.
Right.
Where they had lunch, where they had dinner. Nicodemus was talking about the John 3:16, you know. So this is who we are. You know, we're the Most High's people. You know, he said it's going to save you, come out of Zion. Christ is going to come out of Zion. And then of course you were talking about David. Christ came from the house of David. So yeah, all that ties together. Out of Zion's a place, on the hill, right? Are we done? Any more questions? All right. Madia. Oh, I'm sorry. Florida horn.
Sorry, on your Haku. The east and the Hebrew.
So wow.
So why you
So wow. Turn and face.
turn the face to the east?
East faces. Anya. Go ahead.
So Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanao.
Abanao.
Shabasamai.
Shabbat
Wadash.
Shabbat.
Ayah.
Ayah.
Sabka.
Ka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Lapaka.
Lapaka.
Ma'at. Desire. Ayah. Aisha. Ma'aratazah. Sawa. Ayah. Asamai. Tan. Manawa. Nakam. Call. Yawam.
Yawam.
Salakinaw. Kawakinaw. Salakinaw. Kawakinaw. Mala'ah.
Ah.
Adayanaw. Wayasayo.
Sayyawan.
Habal.
Above.
Ayashayanaw.
Shayanaw.
Mayan.
Ayan.
Right.
Right.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Naka.
Naka.
Amalak.
Amalakwa.
Wahala.
Allah.
Wahatapar.
Or
Awalay.
Allah. Aman. But he said Hebrew, he said English. Our Father,
Our Father.
which art in heaven,
Which art in heaven.
hallowed be thy name.
Hallowed be thy name.
Hallowed,
Hallowed.
thy kingdom
Thy
come.
kingdom come.
Thy will be
Thy
done
will be done.
on earth
In earth.
as it is in
As
heaven.
it is in heaven.
Give us this day
This day
our daily bread.
our daily bread.
Forgive us our debts,
Give us our
as we
debts.
forgive our debtors. Lead us not
Lead us
into
not
temptation.
into
Deliver us
Deliver
from
us
evil.
from evil.
Thine is the kingdom,
Thine is the kingdom,
the power,
power,
the glory forever.
forever.
So be it.
So be it.
Amen.
Amen. I got the power. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Bahashim.
Bahashim.
Yahushua.
Yahushua.
Babakashah.
Babakashah.
Atananaw.
Atananaw.
Akak.
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 Apa'ah.
Laura.
Akamalakah. Wakamawa.
Mawa.
Akak.
Akak.
Latahar.
Latahar.
Amatazari.
Amatazari.
Akak.
Akak.
Haku.
Haku.
Amati.
Mati.
Akak. Arakwa.
Arak.
Amata'ala.
Mati.
Agarsh.
Garsh.
Bahashim.
Bahashim.
Yahushua.
Yahushua.
The water.
Water.
Amen.
Amen. Well, we said in Hebrew, we said in English. Lord, in the name of Yahushua,
Lord, in the name of Yahushua.
please give us the power.
Please give us the
Power to heal all manner of sickness,
Power to heal
all manner of disease,
all manner of
power to
disease.
raise the leper, power to raise the
Power
dead,
to
power against unclean spirits, cast them out.
Cast
In
them
the
out.
name of Yahushua. Thank you.
Thank you.
So good.
Bless Israel. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Hashem.
Hashem.
Yahushua.
Yahushua.
Barakanaw.
Barakanaw.
Ayasa'ala.
Ayasa'ala.
Muhammayah.
Yah.
Sapari.
Barak.
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 Ba'ah.
Barak.
Gun.
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 Bahashem.
Hashem.
Yahushua.
Yahushua.
The water.
Water.
Amen.
We said in Hebrew, we said in English. Lord, in the name of Yahushua,
Lord, in the name of
bless us
Bless us.
in Israel,
Israel.
in the school.
In the school.
Bless your children, protect
Bless your
our
children,
loved
protect
ones.
our loved
In the
ones.
name of Yahushua,
In the name of Yahushua.
thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it. Psalms 121.
Uh-huh.
Asha'ah.
Shah,
Ayanya.
Ayanya,
All. Ahari.
Arya,
Bahayan.
Mahayan,
Aba'ah.
Ah,
Izari.
Sorry.
Izari.
Sorry.
Ma'ayin.
Ayin.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Shah.
Shah.
Shemaiah.
Maya,
Wa'aratazah.
Ratchazah,
Ayatan. Mamawat.
Mawat,
Ragalka.
Ragalka.
Ayanawam.
Yawam,
Shamar.
Bar,
Hana.
Ah,
Na'ah.
Ah,
Yanawam.
Yawam,
Wala'ah.
Ah,
Ayashan.
Shah,
Shawabar.
Zarbar,
Yasha'ala.
Ah,
Yahweh.
Ah,
Shamar.
Bar,
Yahweh.
Ah,
Tazalta. Al Yai.
Ayai,
Nanka.
Yam,
Yamamam.
Yamam,
Hashamash.
Shamash,
La'ah.
Ah,
Yakaka.
Takaka,
Wayarak.
Ayara,
Alayala.
Ayara,
Yahweh.
Ah,
Yashamar.
Shamar,
Makarai.
Rai,
Yashamar.
Shamar,
Akmapash.
Ah, Pash,
Yahweh.
Yahweh,
Yashamar.
Shamar,
Taza'ak.
Ah,
Baba'ak.
Ah,
Ma'aita.
Ah,
Wa'ai. Awalam.
Well, what we said in Hebrew, we said in English. I will lift up mine eyes to the hills, from which cometh my help. My help coming from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is a shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thee, thy. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth.
Psalm 33. Alahayo, Adamaya, Aka, Atakarash, Baal, Tashakwat, Baal, Kaya, Ana, Awabadika, Yahama, Yawan, Ra'ash, Ya'amaka, Yamawa, Sawada, Wayata, Tasawa, Antasapamay, Armawa, Lakawa, Nakakida, Magawai, Mala'a, Yazakar, Sham, Yasa'ala, Awada, Yaka, Kaya, Natasawa, Laba, Yakadwa, Ayaka, Ariat, Yakawakwa, Alhaya, Madawa, Wa, Yashamai, Allah, Yom, Ba'awaba, Wahagaria, Kabal, Wamawan, Wamalat, Palashah, Ayn, Yashapi, Tasawa, Dam, Ashawar, Nalawa, Amay, Hayawa, Zawawai, Abalalawat, Salah, Aisha, Laham, Amadi, Kasaya, Sara'ah, Amadi, Banakal, Mayash, Wan, Nashamad, Nashamadwa, Bayan, Da'ara, Hayawa, Daman, Dama, Sayatama, Nada, sorry, Yaba, Mawa, Kara, Wakasabat, Wakazal, Manai, Kal, Nasakamwa, Shar, Armawa, Nasharasha, Nalawa, Nahwa, Alahaya, Alahaya, Shayatamwa, Gaya, Bakwash, Napanya, Rawaka, Kaash, Ira, Wakalabaha, Dalahat, Haharya, Khan, Daradak, Masa'arka, Babasa, Babaka, Dabalaham, Mala'ah, Paneham, Palawan, Waya, Bakwashwa, Ka, Yahawah, Bashwa, Wa'a, Balayawa, Ya'ai, Waya, Kapawa, Waya, Abadawa, Waya, Dawai, Kaya, Ata, Shankawa, Yahawah, Mabaka, Ayawan, Al, Kal,
Make sure we pronounce every word exact, right? Get better and perfect at this, right? Keep not thy silence. Oh, Yahweh. Hold not thy peace. And be not still. Oh, Yahweh. For lo, thine enemy make atonement. And they that hate thee have lifted up their head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. Be consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, Come, let us cut them off from being a nation. But the name of Israel shall be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Egypt, the Ishmaelites, Moab, Hagarim, the Baal, Ammon, Amalek, the Philistines, the inhabitants of Tyre, sure is also drawn to them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Salah, do unto them. As to the Midianites, as to Syria, as to Jabin, as the brook of Kassam, perish at endure. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Areb, like Ziad, all the princes of Zabah, as Amunah, who said, let us take to ourselves the house of God, possession. Oh, my Yahweh, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire that burned they wood, as the flame that set the mountains on fire. So persecute them. with thy tempest,
With thy
and
tempest.
make them afraid
Make them
with
afraid.
thy storm.
With thy storm.
Build their faces
Build their
with
faces
shame,
with shame.
that they may seek thy
They
name.
may seek thy name.
Oh Lord,
Oh Lord,
let them be
let
confounded
it be confounded.
and troubled
Troubled.
forever.
Forever.
Yea,
Yea.
let them be put to shame
Put to shame.
and perish,
Perish.
that men may know
That they may know
that thou,
Thou,
whose name alone
Name alone,
is Yahweh,
is Yahweh,
the Most High,
the Most High,
over all the
over all the earth.
Sorry. There's the story. How about Shem Yahushua Barak Yah?
Yahweh Bashem now shall barak Yah.
Yahweh Shem Yahushua Barak Yah.
Yahweh Bashem now shall barak Yah.
Conclude our Sabbath service. Anybody like the ordinance? If not, conclude our Sabbath service. We want to salute our brothers. Okay. Put the scrolls down. Go ahead.
Men of Israel, Amadim Shabbat, Amadim, Barak, Yahweh Bashem now shall barak Yah. All right. Sorry, please, scissors.
Top.
Oh, sorry. Yashamatah.
Right.
I'm sorry, I turned face to the side. Men of Israel, Amadim Shabbat, Amadim, Barak, Yahweh Shema Allah Bashem Yahweh Shah, Yashamatah. Class dismissed.